Hey, everybody. Hey, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to put this light on a little because it's better. Not too bright. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday. And I looked at my schedule and I realized that I jang. So I have to do this today. I will be back Monday live doing the full moon, but I have to do this today. All right, so this is the Dragon's axis shift, a nodal transit into a Taurus Scorpio shift, and this is going to take place on January 18th. Now, I call this, and those who have followed me through the years know that this is called the changing of the guards. Every 18 months, the universal dragon energy shifts. Since May 5th of 2020, we have been under a negative fire dragon energy in a Gemini Sagittarius tail. And this dragon energy has brought many things, such as COVID. This is the same dragon energy the year the Spanish flu hit, back in the early 1900s. This is where we've had mass fires globally, not just here in the States, but all over the world. A loss of many animal species, starting with the fires in Australia. Lack of critical thought and believing conspiracy instead of investigating them on your own. When the dragon head is positive in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the truth seeker of the zodiac. When the tail is reversed, it's not about truths. It's about lies and deception and believing the status quo. That's coming to an end. This is where you heard news of sadness and exposure to our indigenous communities. This is where grave sites have been exposed on these not reservations, but these they call them Indian schools. They were more like concentration camps for little kids. That is going to continue. Anytime you're dealing with Scorpio, you're dealing with death and drama. So yes, the grave will reveal man's sins. And also this Scorpio or this Sagittarian energy tail has brought misinformation through media and a division within the state of its people. Look at our country. We're very divided. All right, moving on. Now, the United States is a Cancer nation. What I mean by that is they were established on July 4th, 1776. And this energy will be sitting right on the United States' sixth house, or it has been, not going to, it has been sitting on our sixth house of health and service to the world. Our nation is unhealthy, both mentally, spiritually, and physically. We have become a nation where logic and reason is thrown out the door. We have become divided. We have become unkind, racist, irrational. Very last days of this negative. This is why so many lives are being taken, American lives now, and giving many, many people a hard dose of reality. A lot of people that are dying are the unvaccinated, in my understanding. That choice is up to you, whether you get vaccinated or not. That's not a call. Every human has the right to make that decision. But this dragon goes out like a lion, not a lamb, and it will continue to take lives. Now, the good news is, and I did not put this in any of my predictions because I don't really think it's a prediction. If you're an astrologer, you can see. And once we get into late spring, early summer, we're not going to hear much about COVID as much. COVID will still be there. It's still a disease like SARS or Ebola, but it's going to slowly fade away. Not fade away, but fade out of the media. So give it another 6 months. So like I was saying, we are a Cancer nation. And I posted a newsletter back in April of 2020. I attached it to my astrologywitch.com newsletter for the dragon tail energy. So you can go check out that old newsletter as well. It's a little easier for you to get in there instead of scrolling through over a year and a half of material to find it. That'll just explain a little bit more about the dragon energy we are in now, which is Gemini and Sag. Now, the past 18 months have brought many things. I'm going to start with Gemini because it's the positive energy of Gemini. And this was about mental stimulation, multitasking, discoveries, curiosity, photography, music in some ways, seeking the truth, writing, journalism, broadcasting. This energy can bring joyous, happy times with lots of laughing and joking around. Um, One thing about Gemini is they never lose their sense of humor, so to speak, even in the worst of times. They try to stay upbeat and happy. Gemini is a dual sign, and a lot of people with a strong Gemini in their stars will always experience their lives happening in doubles, quadruples, twos, fours, six. This energy will also give them a strong physical and mental process. So for my Geminis, the dragon head has been riding you for the past year and a half. That doesn't mean that bad things don't happen, but you have it's been giving you an added push to know where your soul's purpose is in life. And the next dragon moves and it tips its hat to Taurus. And that head will be riding on Taurus as well. So we'll explain that a little more as we move on here. This is why virus, twos, fours, sixes. New York is a Gemini city, hence why they are getting hit so hard with a COVID issue. LA is also a Gemini city and made headlines these past 18 months with a COVID crisis. Just because the dragon is riding its head, it does not mean tragedy and sadness will not occur. COVID is the perfect example of this air dragon bringing a respiratory illness to the world. Gemini rules the lungs and the respiratory system, and it has definitely made its presence known, hasn't it? Now, I also spoke about this dragon tail being negative in fire energy and Sag. We have been the past 18 months, we have seen so much sadness. Sagittarius rules medicine, education, laws, courts, justice, the animal kingdom, the indigenous community. This also represents foreigners and foreign lands. Ancient astrology calls this the codification of thought. That's how I've been trained. The world at large will begin to question the books written by man and what the good book says. And that has happened these past 18 months. The enlightened souls have questioned things, people that have come to an age of enlightenment. There are those that kept their heads buried in the sand. Some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. Enough said. The Sagittarius fire energy will pursue the animal kingdom, which we've seen it do. It was a precursor. When we saw what was going on in Australia, it was a precursor. That was a way of telling us it's coming here to the States. It was a precursor of things to come. Like I said, it rules the educational system as well. And we've seen in the last 18 months our health being turned into a political fiasco by politicians. This is where the Board of Education is fighting with governors of state with mask mandates, things like that. Education where they have to go on virtual learning, things like that. You notice that in the news as well. This is also the medical profession, religion, the indigenous people, and minorities as well. This, along with many leaders who have a sun and dragon placement in Gemini or Sag, we those people have all felt this dragon, both positive and negative, these past 18 months. Donald Trump has this placement. The Pope has this placement. Countries take on Gemini and Sagittarius energy. So Australia is a Sagittarian nation. So all of South America, all of the Americas in general have Sagittarian energy going through them because um, my belief is, and it is a fact, whether some of you agree or disagree, this all of this land from the tip of Argentina to the top of Canada is Sagittarian energy because it was all of land. It's part of Turtle Island. So yes, this is why California got hit so hard because California, even though it was formed in Virgo energy, it was native land. Sagittarius. Parts of Arizona as well, along with New York and LA. These are Gemini cities. So Sag and on the realm of astrogeography, those places took big effects. Hi, Judy. How are you? Um, we saw all of these things make headlines the last year and a half. More fires, issues with our native brothers fighting for their rights, sadness with the animal kingdom, and the stupidity of fearful and indoctrinated people have plagued the world. This was some of the things I posted 2 years ago almost. Now, modern astrology pays very little attention to these nodal shifts. Vedic, which is on the sidereal method of astrology, and sidereal meaning constellations. When Vedic astrology focuses on the constellations, as to where tropical does not focus on the focuses on more of the housing system. Babylonian, Occidental, which is also Chinese astrology, Draconian, which is not practiced anymore, or at least not to my knowledge. I do have software that can run that, and it is pretty interesting. It's very interesting, that method of astrology. And then there's the divine method, which is the Nostradamus method. These are the only methods of astrology that pay really any attention to the north and south nodes of the moon and their housing systems. Now, in Vedic astrology, and you can go and Google this, it's a Google search. In Vedic astrology, astronomically, Rahu and Ketu denote the points of intersection of the paths of the sun and the moon as they move on the celestial sphere. Therefore, Rahu and Ketu are respectfully called the north and south nodes of the lunar moon. Rahu is responsible for causing the eclipse of the sun. So all ancient astrologers know the importance, and I don't care what, it's not just my method. I'm learning Babylonian astrology as well right now, and it's incorporated into that too, and they actually call it the dragon. So pretty interesting. Nostradamus was able to create all these astrological predictions through incorporating a few ancient methods of astrology to work very well under the tropical zodiac. He took draconian methods, which represents the sole purpose in life. He pulled from the dragon's energy of Occidental and Chinese astrology. And then he also pulled from the Babylonian ancient methods of the power of the dragon placements and used them so he could see into the future of how all these energies will affect mankind by house, by sign, and even by some degrees. So, like I said, the next dragon shifts on January 18th, 2021, and it stays all the way to July 17th, 2023. It is in a Taurus Scorpio axis. And I will say this, folks. Hi, Melly. How are you? And I can't understand the other name. In fact, probably spam. I'm going to assume that's spam. Hope you're doing well this evening. Okay, so we're going into like I said, I fear this dragon the most. The Scorpio dragon tail is a very harsh, it is a very unloving, unfeeling, and unkind dragon energy. It doesn't give a shit about you. It doesn't give a damn about your kids or your mama or your aunties or your uncles. It doesn't care. Wherever this energy falls by house and sign, you will feel its wake up calls, its deaths, and its transformations. So, and it is a karmic residue. So it does depend on some karma here. Even for those of you who don't believe in karma, stars are karmic. Okay, there's two planets that rule karmic energy: Saturn, Neptune, Capricorn, Pisces. Those two planets are karmic. So you can't sit there and say there's no such thing as karma when the celestial stars above are karmic in nature. It's how you use your karma. Now, when we're dealing with a dragon tail in Scorpio, Scorpio is either the lizard of the zodiac, which is negative, or the eagle of the zodiac, which is positive. This dragon tail will represent the lizard and all the negative it brings. Scorpio rules metaphysics. It rules witchcraft. It rules the underworld. It rules investigations, investments, medicine, morgues, cemeteries, morticians, insurance, police, CIA, FBI, IRS, mafia, sex industry, porn industry. This is where dramatic news, where death and drama takes center stage. The witchcraft community takes a big hit in some way. Lawlessness will arise, and the possibility of civil war, I am not taking that off the table yet. No, I'm not taking that off the table yet. Deep and hidden secrets are going to be brought to light in these next 18 months. You're going to have to brace yourself for some unsettling news about a whole host of different things: children, sex trafficking, police, disgracefulness of the police, exposure of politicians, celebrities, the religious figures. These big, prominent people make headlines. This is where a lot of the elites become poor. Hi, Doris. This is where the elites become poor and the poor become wealthy. There is that factor there. You're going to see a lot of rich people falling from grace, being exposed. It's already happening in the royal family with that Prince Andrew. He's, oh, it's going to be shocking. I'd say get your popcorn out, but you're going to need a little more than popcorn. You're going to need something stronger than popcorn to get through this next 18 months. Okay, now this is where platonic souls will feast on as psychic vampires. So this is often with resentful, jealous, and dangerous tactics. So if you are an empath or have empathic tendencies, I am empathic to a certain extent. I know how to get a hard shell on my shoulder. I know how to ward my. But if you are sensitive, take on energies very easily, you're going to have to really protect yourself these next 18 months. Because those energy vampires will be able to detect your weaknesses. There will be no fear of laws, and there will be no regard for laws. There will be a natural lust for death and drama that will prevail. Now, this also is where metaphysical powers are used in the wrong manner and used to control, harm, and manipulate others. Witch hunts and some sexual diseases, once thought a thing of the past, resurface and make headlines. Sad news will be ahead for Russia and all the countries formed in the month of November. Now, the dragon's head will be in Taurus, which is a Venus energy. This is beautiful Venetian and earthy dragon's energy, where we will put more focus on the things that make us feel beautiful, sexy, and rich. This is where we can overindulge, where we go and we buy the expensive Gucci slides or the expensive Gucci purse, just because. you know, that is Taurus energy. Taurus is very it likes the good life and the good stuff. It's about quality over quantity. I can respect that. I'm like that in some ways myself. Now, with this dragon, be prepared for some earth changes to take place, such as volcanoes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and stress on fault lines. They will become common. I can't remember if I gave my Patreons um, the earth changes dates. There's one for next year too. If not, let me know. Say I don't remember that, and I will do a newsletter about that. But be prepared for earth. Said volcanoes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and the stress on the fault lines is very common because you have Uranus, the planet of sudden release of energy, earthquakes in Taurus. So those two together will make the earth shake. It's just a matter of time. Taurus rules beauty, banking, finance, money, wealth, possessions, and we will see a change in the banking system, and currency issues leading to a new currency are very, very possible these next 18 months. People will be into shopping more for vintage goods, thrift shopping, antique shopping, which is fun. I love doing that stuff. I love thrift shopping. It's fun, and it's a good time to do it because with Taurus there, you're going to find some really great deals on some great vintage stuff. What was I saying now? This is where all sorts of new technology come into light in regards to the beauty and aesthetics world. And there's things that'll be introduced, I don't know, it's like in the Botox fillers world, things like that. There'll be new things introduced, new cosmetic procedures and things like that. As we advance more, the procedures that used to be very taxing on the human body, facelifts, this, that, they're coming up with new ways of doing things. You're going to see some revolutionary things where people are going to want to look younger, feel better about themselves, and there is nothing wrong with that. In the realm of psychology, a lot of plastic and cosmetic surgery has helped a great many people psychologically. So, Switzerland makes news, and countries formed within the month of May make Taurus, um, just like Russia is a Scorpio nation. They take on this energy. Now, I want to say something about astrogeography. Bear with me, you guys. I'm handling something in my chat. I think from now on, I just make it subscribers only. Yes, Melly, thrift shopping. I love thrift shopping. Oh my goodness. I love shopping. One of my favorite pastimes. Okay. Sorry, I that we're in there. Now, where was I? Okay. Even though England is a Capricorn nation, well before borders and boundaries existed, the United Kingdom was formed on May 1st, 1707, and it's going to make headlines in the next 18 months with some sort of significant news. Hopefully, it's positive news. The dragon's writing it positively, so good news coming from the United Kingdom in the next 18 months. Now, many souls will be able to make millions with genius ideas in business and investing in other people's money. Hard work will bring love and respect to others. And this placement usually signals I said this already, but where the rich suffer financially and the poor benefit monetarily. Many of us will get creative, and that creativity brings financial freedoms and happiness. Now, what I want to say, I did not put this prediction into my Patreon. I only am giving my general public here tonight 5. Patreon gets 27 of them. I didn't put this in as a prediction because I didn't feel it was really necessary. Yes, we are in inflation, okay? And prices are being elevated. But we're in a Taurus dragon head ruling money. It is going to get better. In my personal opinion, I think our corporations and our companies are embellishing the truth a little bit with the inflation just so they can jack up the price. That's my personal opinion. I don't think we're in as big of an inflation as they're really claiming we are. They're making the inflation, the corporations, the companies, because I see this next dragon coming, and money benefits the little guy. It's going to be the corporate stung in the butt by Scorpio's stinger, not the little guy. Think about that. Yeah, we are in inflation. I'm seeing it at the grocery stores. Milk and eggs have gone insane price-wise. But I talk to farmers around here, and they're saying it has to do with getting it on a truck, shipping it somewhere. The company jacks up the price, things like that. So it's a corporate issue that'll get exposed too. But yeah, many souls will benefit these next 18 months. Many of us will get creative, and that creativity is going to bring some sort of financial freedom and happiness for a great many of us, especially if you have a strong energy of Taurus in your chart. Now, like I said, I say this all the time. I have to reiterate it. This dragon is directly hunting for all November and May born souls. Now, we are all going to feel this energy, but those born with a Scorpio or Taurus moon, suns, rising, natal, or hidden dragon placements in Scorpio or Taurus will feel this more than others. I will also say that the next 18 months, you'll notice the platonic phases. Those are on my days of caution. They're going to get deadlier and more violent than we have ever seen before. So it's going to be very, very important for you all to know your negative and positive lucky dragon days, your cosmic biorhythms, to get through a very rough phase coming up. And before I go on, at the end of my newsletter, I'm running a bunch of specials, and I thought I was done with these, and then they decided to send me more. So hold on. So in my newsletter, it is attached. I think anyway, it is. I think I linked it up here into the chat. They sent me 3 more of these, so I am running a special on them. For $65, you get 1 year of your lucky and unlucky days along with the book. Patreon, if you're interested, you have a different price, and you know what that price is. So, and if not, you can message me. But it's important to know your cosmic biorhythm days for this energy coming up. Now, the United States will feel this energy, and it's going to be on the 11th house of wishes and friends. This means that we will regain or make alliances or friendships among other countries. And even some of our old alliances, um, we won't be friends with as much anymore. I think someone last time I was in here mentioned Japan. That might be. But we will build new alliances. We may lose old alliances. But one thing I do know is our nation, it's right on wishes. So our nation gets some sort of a wish fulfilled of some sort in the next 18 months. But this also means that the tail rides America's fifth house of children. This is love. This is creativity. I'm going to tell you, this was very hard for me to write. When I was writing this up, this was a little heartbreaking for me. And it is one of the predictions I'm including for free to the general public. Our children are going to make headlines, and it's going to be in a negative. It hunts America and its children. The months that will have the most impact on the universe will be May of 2022, November of 2022, and May of 2023. I also foresee it happening in August of 2022 as well. All right, so there are about 27 predictions. I've included 5 for the general public, okay, because it's not fair to my Patreons who pay for those predictions. But let's start with number 1. Donald Trump will have health issues, and his service to the world will be exposed. He will not run in 2024. Like I said once before, it would take a damn miracle. Not that miracles don't happen, but I don't know. I saw him in an interview last night. He does not look good. He does not look good. It's just not. It's not healthy. He doesn't look healthy. He's going to be too busy fighting any kind of legal battles, health problems, jail time, bankruptcy. All of this is going to take a toll on his health. And stress. The stress will bring about poor health. And this is where the Donald does get a wake-up call. And I do not, I predicted that they would separate this last dragon because of where the energy was falling on him. But she is a Taurus herself. So Scorpio is going to cruise her 7th house of marriage. She has been spotted numerous times at Trump Towers in New York. So I do believe, because I have a lot of family in New York, I do believe she's living up in New York and comes back and forth to Florida to make appearances. But she's not going to stay. Yeah, that ain't happening. You'll hear about them divorcing. All right. I decided to include number 2 because it's a biggie and it's important for you to understand this. The last dragon was in Sagittarius, and it ruled doctors and medicine and the Hippocratic Oath. Now, there are 3 signs in astrology that rule medicine, and Sagittarius is one of them. It rules doctors and nurses and the Hippocratic Oath. The second one is Virgo. Virgo rules your holistic medicines and your holistic paths, homeopathic ways. That's Virgo. The third sign is Scorpio. Scorpio rules medicine as well. It rules in discovery of diseases. It rules autopsies, morticians, rules medicine. It also rules medical insurance. It rules the insurance companies. Okay? And this last dragon, we had system, our doctors, our nurses were states. I know in this state, they're at their brink in Arizona. This dragon coming, The Scorpio dragon tail rules insurance, health insurance, quite particularly. Um, and with the rise of people not being able to pay their hospital bills, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be this downward spiral of things. I know a guy that was in a hospital in California for 4 months. This was in 2000. He was in Palo Alto. He was in there for 4 months. He survived COVID. He got his hospital bill. You know how much his hospital bill was? $1.2 million for his hospital bill. That is insane. So yes, there's going to be a full restructure of our health. I already tell you what some of that is. From just by doing research about big farm, and some of the corruption comes from, for example, you dislocate your knee, you go to the ER. They charge you $1,200 for crutches, which only cost $100, $200. $900 for the splint that you have to put your knee in, which only costs you $100, if that. They price gouge the insurance. The hospitals make these prices. They price gouge the insurance companies. And in the end, who suffers? You guys, the ones that pay the premiums, the ones that pay insurance, we suffer. We're the ones that suffer. So there's going to be this full onslaught of exposure coming. And the USA now begins its major healthcare crisis and exposure of the greedy insurance companies, the lobbyists, the politicians who fought hard not to give every United States citizen a small measure of public health care for its people. I'm sorry, I have relatives in Italy, and they're like, this country, because they can't afford their health care. People die because they can't afford the medication. Okay, that's happening here. That's not happening in Europe or in Australia. There's over 200 sovereign nations, and many of them have a universal healthcare system. So that's going to start getting set in place. This is kind of a karmic thing that's happening for the United States. It's a karmic thing that's happening for those lobbyists because they didn't want anybody to be on a universal healthcare system because the insurance companies are losing money. Well, now the insurance companies are going to lose a shit ton more money because there's going to be people filing a shit ton of bankruptcies because they can't afford their hospital bill. Everything has cause and effect. Oh, get me started. It's a kind of a pet peeve with me. I think this is why my children want to leave and move to Europe, because they see that the life is better there in some small measure. All right, enough. Then we jump down to number 5. Number 5, I decided to share with you as well. And this is where a full restructure and exposure of more police, secrets, and crimes. It's not a good time to be a cop. Let's just put it this way. They're going to be in danger, and many of them will die and get killed, and also vice versa. They will be doing more killing. So I mentioned the sex trafficking, didn't I? Or did I get to that one yet with the children? See, there are things, another prediction, and another prediction correlates into another, and I'm kind of going, oh my God. But the police are going to be hunted and exposed for their corrupt ways, and more info will come out exposing them. Full restructure of the police force is imminent. Hey, sweet butterfly girl. Government price gouging. Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. hmm It's not the workers. It's not the mom and pop stores. It's the corporations that are price gouging. Why they don't fix it, and they already have a... Yeah, I agree. People understand is that what you don't... Exactly, Melly. Yeah, it's a mess. This country is a mess when it comes to that. Oh, wow, you've been thinking of wanting to move to Ghana. How cool. Yeah, my kids are like, Mom, in the next couple of years, you told me not to do any traveling with the Sagittarian dragon tail, but I'm thinking of getting my citizenship. And there's 3 countries she wants to go to: Italy, Ireland, and Holland. And the reason for the Ireland and the Holland is because I have friends in Holland. I have friends in Ireland, and they could keep a closer eye on her. I'd feel safer her there because I have relatives there to spy on her. Friends. I shouldn't say that. That's funny, but she wants to go, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her one bit. All right, back to my newsletter. So yeah, there's going to be some sort of full exposure of the police. 5 and 20 kind of correlate together, and I gave you both 5 and 20. Um, I'm going to read you 5, the full way that I wrote it, and then I'm going to jump down to 20, and then I'm going to have to jump back up to 7 because 7 is good news. Full restructure and exposure of more police secrets and crimes. Not a good time to be a cop. I already said that. We will see our police and FBI involved with things such as sex trafficking, and will get exposed. They are being hunted and exposed for their corruption and their corrupt ways, and more info will come out exposing them. I said this already. Now we go down to number 20. Okay, children and a full exposure. Prominent, famous, rich, religious leaders getting exposed. We are also going to see our own police force and law enforcement, FBI, getting in, being involved and being exposed for sex trafficking too. It's going to be shocking, so prepare yourself. I foresee this coming in August, possibly November of this year, 2022. There's going to be some sort of an exposure. And I did say this to my Patreons, but I am going to drop it here too. What do you think happened to those little kids that were in those cages during the Trump administration that the parents never found? Where do you think they went? Where? Because our own government's involved in sex trafficking. And it's not just, a Democratic thing where Hillary Clinton has a thing underneath the pizza place. That was the most absurd thing ever. And I'm not saying it's a Democrat or a Republican thing. It is a political thing. It is a religious thing. It's people that have power and that are rich think it's okay because they have the money that they can abuse innocent children. This dragon is going to sting them, and I hope it stings them hard. Sorry, get a little emotional when it comes to kids. Guess because I've been an advocate for them for so many years. It's going to sting them hard. So, what I feel bad for is the children, because this is the kind of trauma that the baggage stays with them for the rest of their lives. You know how many hours of therapy these kids are going to need? Sad. Yeah, Ireland's beautiful. I have been there and I do want to go back very, very soon. I haven't been there in over 20 years. Once I had kids, everything stopped. My trips, I used to travel a lot. I used to go to Europe. I used to go here. I used to go there. Then once I had kids, it was like all I went was Disneyland and the zoo. That's okay. It's all good. Okay, I'm going back up because I want to read you a good prediction that's coming. Progressive changes are ahead in how we do banking and how we spend money. This is very new age money, okay? And somewhat scary, but it is written in the stars and mankind's destiny to new digital currency. Now, you can fight it all you want. It is coming. Now, one thing I'm going to say, Taurus, is this. Your things are going to happen, but they're not going to happen instantly like they would in a Gemini. Gemini is a fast sign. It's quick. It's like lightning. Taurus is a slower moving sign. So that's why you're going to see inflation for the next 6 months or so. Once this Taurus energy starts moving, and once we move into that first eclipse, April 30th is the first eclipse. The book I want is never where I want it, when I want it. Oh, damn it all. There it is. The first solar eclipse is on April 30th in Taurus. So, like I said, it's going to be a slow-moving sign. It's got to catch its moment. This dragon by next year at this time. Banks introducing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You're going to see all kinds of changes coming. There's more I could say, but they're in the paid predictions. And my Patreons know how this correlates. And if you don't understand my Patreons, look at number 27. I just added it in. This is how it correlates with the economy. But positive changes are ahead. This is Mercurial energy, Mercurial money. Hey, Regina, how are you? No worries, hon. I know we all have lives. We work. Sometimes we can't get to it on time. That's the beauty of YouTube. I love it because you can always go back and repeat. And this video is going to be pinned so everyone could see some of these predictions. So just keep your positive thoughts, okay? Keep positive thoughts. I know we keep watching the news and we're in inflation and we're this and we're that. And yes, like I said, slow moving sign. Taurus will start galloping faster and faster as this. So once we're in the zenith of this dragon, which is, let's see, what are we in? So around end of September, we're going to be at the highest peak of its energy. You'll see changes coming right around then. All right, moving on down to number. Well, I talked about this last time I was on here, and it's a freebie. Disclosure and secrets come to life about our involvement with ETs and UFOs. Our nation has kept it a secret for a long, long time. I talked about this the other day in a private Patreon chat, and exposure's coming about UFOs, ETs. We may even hear of ETs coming out and saying, hey, I'm here. I've been here all along. This is the good and the bad, though. So, but disclosure is definitely coming on a lot of things. Okay. The last one I'm going to give you, I actually left it out of my Patreon one as well until yesterday, and I added it in because I do feel a little bit insane with telling you this, with saying this to you. Um, but oh hell, here it goes. Like I said, I feel nuts for saying this, but dot dot dot. Anytime you have a Scorpio dragon's tail, it represents death, rebirth, transformation, but also resurrections. Yes, I said it, resurrections, meaning that the dead come back to life. Now, hear me out. In the metaphysical realm or in the mundane, this energy, like I said, it hunts for the rich and the famous, and a lot of those deaths will be on the rise these next 18 months. But there is a possibility of a famous person, I'm not going to say coming back to life, but you might hear of a famous person in the next 18 months who faked their death. Okay, that is a possibility. I know it sounds insane, and I thought long and hard about incorporating that in. I'm like, shit. But this is a possibility. This is the resurrection energy. So, um, yes, there's a possibility of a famous person who faked their death coming back. Now, my mind is flooded with all kinds of thoughts about that. Who the hell that could be? You know, um, when I dropped that bomb on my family, everyone in the whole room at the same time, all four people in my living room said, Michael Jackson. My mother, both my kids, Nick, all of them, they all said it. It was like, oh, I don't know if it's Michael Jackson or not, but you may hear of that. As crazy as that sounds. Yeah, Melly, I'm in that rabbit hole too. Yeah, so there's a strong possibility like their death could come back to life. Tupac, that's a possible. You know what? Speaking of Tupac, oh, that just gave me a chill. I wish I would have paid more attention to what I had heard about this about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it was one of my kids' friends saying this, but it happened on TikTok, so consider the source. They were saying that there was a video of some guy videotaping himself, and the guy in the background, if you zoomed in on him, he looked just like Tupac. Sweet butterfly girl, you might be onto something. You might be onto something. Who was the other one that died? There was Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls, that's another one that comes to mind, but I think he was shot. He was gunned down. So I think in California, boy, I'm going back to like 97, 98, 99, 2000. That's a long time ago. But who knows who it'll be, you know? And those are your 2022, 2023 Dragon forecast axis for you guys. I will say violent times are ahead, and I won't sugarcoat it. I'm seeing it now. You know, once the dragon has ended and we move into the Aries Libra on July 18th, 2023, we're going to see less about left and right, blue and red, Democrat, Republican, and it's going to be more about equality. It's going to be more about putting a little logic and reason into things more. It's going to be more about justice for all, not just one party or one particular race or one particular religion. As we move more into this age of Aquarius, this is where things start to shift and change. Um, this does not mean those parties won't be there, but change is coming in our political system, our monetary system, and in our own communities. It's going to be more about helping each other. It's about humanity, community, compassion in some ways. Um, all I can say is thank Goddess sees as this is going to help aid in more compassion and kindness within our citizens once again, Um, this next dragon's energy, and I've tried really hard not to be Debbie Downer. I really hate to do that, but we have to expect the worst, but hope for the best and take it one day at a time. That's all we can do. All right. Bear with me, guys. I'm doing something. There we go. Yeah, I think Biggie's gone too. Wishful thinking. I love Biggie. When he died, I was so depressed. I was like, oh no, Biggie. I loved all his music. And I even loved his girlfriend, uh, Faith, Faith, something. I can't remember her name. She has such a beautiful voice. They say Tupac lives in Cuba. Now I gotta find out, why would he fake his death? Was he like in trouble with the IRS or something? Crap. I'm gonna have to you see. I'm falling down that rabbit's hole, Melly. I wonder about my own prediction. Who could it be? Who could it be? Are we gonna take bets on this? Should be very entertaining and very interesting. But that is your 2022-2023 Dragon forecast for this year and part of next year. I'm wishing all of you a very safe and positive transition into this next dragon energy. And like I said, on my newsletter at the end, I am offering specials for those who want their souls reading. They're on sale now for $88.88. I used to print them out and mail them to you, and then as COVID started, I stopped doing that. I do offer it for $10 extra if you want to print it, but I will start printing charts again after this COVID thing's like in the rear mirror. Until then, it's still an e-file. Um, I know it's nice to get the printed version. I get it. I get it. But until this COVID is over, I'm going to keep it as non-printed, just e-file. But you have the option. I will print it if you want for an extra $10. That's on sale, along with those of you who have had a full life reading from me and would like to know your progressive. That is available. I'm also running the 2022 Moon Sign book with your lucky and unlucky cosmic biorhythm days. That is $65, and that's with tax and shipping already included. In the 50 states in the United States, you get free shipping through me. And check out all the other stuff I have. I've got a lot of 50% off specials on a lot of crystals. A lot of my crystals come from a wholesaler up in Sedona. So you know you're getting quality and not crap from China. Not glass, but real crystals. And that is about it. If you like what you... Faith Evans, that's it. Evans. She's got such a beautiful voice. And his mother was beautiful too. Biggie's mom. Okay, so my family's from Brooklyn. I got a thing for Brooklyn boys. He's a Brooklyn boy. He was a Brooklyn boy. That's it, But yes, I bet his little girl is like she's like probably 20 or 18 now. She's probably grown up too. But yeah, Biggie, he missed out on a lot. That is a young soul whose life got snuffed out way too soon. Tupac, too. Hmm. That is the forecast. I'm wishing all of you a good weekend ahead. Please be safe. In any of these specials, I would jump on the opportunity. I have at the very top I've pinned my Patreon page, but I've also pinned my newsletter with all the specials on it if you are interested. I will be back on here on Monday, and it is are you a young soul? No, sweet. Well, in the physical, you are young. Yes, you're younger. I mean, I'm 50. Everybody's younger than me. But you're not a young soul. And what I mean by a young soul is a soul who has only lived a few lifetimes. Donald Trump is a young soul. He has not lived many lifetimes. I could see that in his stars. But I can also see old souls, people who have lived many, many lifetimes, even more than the ones I can detect, because in my method I can detect 2 past lives. Sweet butterfly girl, you have lived many lifetimes, so you're an old soul in a young, beautiful body and mind. Does that make sense? But yes, there are young souls and old souls, and just depends on your star's placement. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a young soul if you become enlightened in this lifetime. Lifetimes after lifetime just keeps getting better, and you keep getting experiences. So, but yes, I will be back on Monday because Monday is the full moon in Cancer, and I have the forecast. The forecast I think is already up for Patreon. I think I put it up yesterday. If not, I'll go and put it up tonight. And yeah, I'll be back on here, and I'll do card readings on Monday. I'll go on Monday evening. Seems like when I go later in the evenings, I have more people on. Everyone's at work. I get it. Not everyone works from home like I do. So if you like what you hear, please give this a like and this channel. I'm trying to build my platform. So um, all of you out there, Melly, Regina, Sweet Butterfly Girl, Judy, and Doris, thanks you guys for tuning in out there. Have a great weekend on Monday. All right. Ciao. See you later.